Welcome to the A-League, man, the trickiest competition in world football to predict. Round 8 predictions here. My name's Lockie, this is Coastwood Football. Feel free to drop your predictions down in the comment section below. Here's the fixtures that await us this coming weekend. Some fantastic matchups, as we always get in the A-League, and it kicks off with an Aloisi derby on Friday night, 6 p.m. kickoff. It's an earlier one. Western United, struggling at the moment, bottom of the table, consecutive losses, 6 consecutive losses now. And it was a really poor loss last week against Central Coast Mariners, losing 4-0. Brisbane Roar, it's an opposite story for them. They're flying at the moment. They're second on the ladder. They picked up a really solid 2-0 win on the road to Adelaide United. And obviously the two Aloisi brothers meeting each other. Ross Aloisi, who's doing a fantastic job at Brisbane Roar, and John Aloisi, who just needs to get this team not only, to be playing better football and to start winning games, but just start scoring goals. They've only scored 3 goals so far this season, West United, which is just incredible, especially when you look at the personnel that they have in their lineup. I mean, Daniel Pena, Noah Botic, Lockie Wales, even Nikita Rukavica. All these guys, for whatever reason, it's just not working out for them right now, and it's not clear what really is going wrong there at Western United, but they've just been second best in basically every single one of their games so far this season, bar that opening round win, and it's going to be really tough to get a result against the Brisbane Roar side, who are just, as we mentioned, just looking so good at the moment, playing really, really good football. A couple injuries for them last week, but look, they should be able to hold on to 3 points here, Brisbane Roar, and they're a team who I think are going to have a big, massive season. They really are challenging for the top. And, they've already been playing well at home this season. And on the road, the fact that they're picking up results away from home suggests that they are going to have a successful season. I think a 2-0 win, at least here for Raw, is a fair result. There's just no indication that West United are going to be scoring goals anytime soon. So, look, could this be the last game in charge for Coach John Aloisi for West United? Potentially. Another loss. And, they really have to do something there at West United to turn their season around already early on. Another Friday night match. I like having the double games on a Friday night. It's a lot of fun. And it's, talk about fun, Western City Wanderers, Adelaide United. When these two teams meet, it's always a crazy game. Last season had that 4-4 draw between these two teams. And last week was almost a similar story for Western Sydney Wanderers. They lost 3-4 at home to Melbourne Victory. Bruno Fornaroli was on fire in that game, of course, scoring 4 goals against the Wanderers. And Michael Redan will be hoping that his defence is a little bit more tighter for this match. And, we might see some changes for Wanderers. They've got some good young players coming through who featured off the bench last week. And Adelaide, it's a fascinating story for the Reds because you look at the team that they have, and again, it's still a very strong team, but it's defence where it's sort of been chopping and changing a little bit. For the last couple of rounds now, they've been changing out their centre-backs. And you get the sense that maybe Reds coach Calvert is still looking for that right, combination, especially in defence. And against a Wanderers side, who have the likes of Marcus Anderson, who's made a decent start to the season, and those, young attacking players who are looking really good at the moment for Wanderers, the likes of Nikola Milanovic. They're going to be hard to beat at home this season, Wanderers. They did lose out to Melbourne Victory last time, but I think that will be a one-off this year for Western Sydney Wanderers. At home against Adelaide, it should be another entertaining clash. I'm going 3-2, the Reds to grab a couple goals. Nestori Irankunda, without a goal in his last couple of games, he could bounce back in this game. I'd like to see Hiroshi Ibasuki return to the starting lineup for the Reds. I think he provides a lot moving forward. Wanderers, though, just to get ahead at home in this one. Saturday sees Newcastle Jets take on Perth Glory. Newcastle Jets, they were the story of last round, winning away to ladder leaders at the time, Wellington Phoenix 3-0. And I've sort of talked about Newcastle here and there, over the opening weeks of the season. And even though the results haven't been there for them, they've only got a couple wins for the season. There's really good signs from the team and the young players that they got playing for them this season. Clayton Taylor's the one that's really standing out, and he was influential in that win last week against Phoenix. They're a team that I think are really capable of being sort of that surprise package to jump up from the bottom 6 to the top 6, and they're really going to challenge this season, I think. And at home against a Perth Glory side who are still struggling. Losing at home to Melbourne City last week, and on the road, they haven't been good enough, Perth Glory, and it's a real headache now for Alan Sturgis to try and put this team, put his best team forward. Again, it's still one of those situations where Alan Sturgis might still be looking for that best Perth Glory side, and I don't see Glory getting a result from this game. I think Jets If they play like they did against Adelaide as Wellington last week, they should be winning at home here. Newcastle, a 2-0 win. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, he's been in great form up top for the Jets as well. They should be expected to win this game. It's the A-League. Anything can happen. So who knows? Glory could show up and win 4-0. But I think a Jets win is the likely outcome in that game. And then, Saturday night, Big Blue. We love a Big Blue, man. And this is, of course, a rematch of the round 1 fixture, which Melbourne Victory won that encounter up in Sydney. Sydney FC looking for revenge and looking to bounce back after losing at home to Macarthur FC. And again, it's been, they showed decent signs. Sydney FC a couple weeks ago against Perth Glory, they got a great win away to Adelaide United, but it's just still been up and down. They're still lacking that consistency. They've got the players to do it, man. You look at the squad and there's good personnel there. Joe Lolly and Robbie Mack looking hungry this season, which is good to see. But Melbourne Victory, you got to say that they'll get the win here. And, it's even, you'd back someone like Bruno Fornaroli to grab another, a hat-trick in this game. He is just in incredible form and is unstoppable. And there's going to be a huge task for the likes of Gabriel Lacerda and Jake Goodwood-Reich at the back for Sydney FC to deny Bruno Fornaroli. And on top of that as well, no Andrew Redmayne for this game for Sydney FC. Adam Pavlicic is going to have to step in goals you'd expect once again for the Sky Blues. So, Bruno Fornaroli will be keen to add to his remarkable goal tally to open up the season. I think a 3-1 win is a fair result for this Big Blue. Melbourne City, Central Coast Mariners. We've got a grand final rematch on a Sunday arvo. Melbourne City obviously lost that grand final in a remarkable fashion. Mariners, of course, winning 6-1 all the way back in June. And they'll be wanting to get revenge here and keep up their decent A-League form. A couple away wins. Disappointment for Melbourne City, drawing that late heartbreak in the Asian Champions League on Tuesday evening. But Central Coast Mariners, they've slowly been building some decent form. A couple wins in the last three A-League games, undefeated so far, and a good 4-0 win against West United shows that they are capable of scoring goals once again this season. Even those young guys coming in, the likes of Jing Reese and Miguel De Pizio, looking good at the moment for the Mariners. But this Melbourne City side, even though they have not been at their best this season, they're going to be really, really difficult to beat, especially at home. I'd expect Melbourne City. But this could be an interesting one. I could see it swinging either way with the fact that City have been struggling a bit this season. Mariners could catch them out and get the win here. But I think a draw is a fair result, a closer encounter compared to that grand final match earlier on in the calendar year. The weekend rounds off. The weekend, more like the week, because it's a Monday, a weeknight fixture. Once again, a Monday match between Macarthur FC and Wellington Phoenix, which should be a great game because this is first versus third. The Bulls are flying, top of the ladder, incredible. Wellington Phoenix, man. I mean, they'll be disappointed with that home loss last week against Jets, but I think it will be just a one-off. Some people may be suggesting that the loss was coming and maybe maybe Phoenix's bright start was just a sort of a flash in the pan, if you like. But I think they'll be strong once they get in this game, but against Macarthur FC side, who are just so dangerous on the counter-attack moving forward. Goals are coming from all over the park, and they're playing well at home too. They're starting to turn Campbelltown Stadium into a fortress, I should say. And it should be a fun game to watch this one. It's a hard one to split, though. I am going to go 1-1. I think Phoenix overall have been good defensively, maybe bar the performance from last week, but it's a tough one to pick. I think that last game, that Monday night fixture, is probably the hardest fixture to pick from the week. 1-1 is the result I'm going to go for. Macarthur, looking pretty strong at the top of the table, but there's so many teams playing great football at the moment. It's going to be another great round of football. As I mentioned, drop your predictions in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on the upcoming weekend of football? Let me know. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwatch Football, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.